Hey Jody, how's it going? Yeah, I'm supposed to have a power outage here in about a half an hour, so they're going to cut the power for a couple hours while they work on the system. So if anybody wants to join, come on and join. I'll make you co-host, and you can take over because I'm going to disappear. My computers are going to shut down. So anyway, I was able to get a ship this morning, and I posted it. Um, I got the Masabi Minor downbound this morning early, like at about 6:45. like I say, at about 9:30, they're going to cut all my power up here in the north end of Port Huron while they work on a system or whatever. The Detroit Edison sent copies to this. It says your electrical service is scheduled to be interrupted for 1 hour and 45 minutes on Saturday, December the 6th, starting at 9:30 a.m. Oh man. East Coast, Brenda, Jim, you're not here yet. Like I say, I may not be on very long this morning unless I get somebody to take over the live stream. Because at about 9:30, they're going to cut all the power up north end of Port Huron. I don't know how far it goes, but there was four great big pickup trucks with lights on top were sitting down by where I was, and they had the lights going. And I pulled over and asked them if that was still on. They says, "Oh yeah." I asked, "Are you guys doing it as Detroit Edison?" And he says, "No, it's some other company. So it must be a contracted company." My boner, good boy. You are a good boy. Yes, you are. You got to go out one more time. Here comes Mark. Good morning, Mark.
Hi, Paul.
Yeah, I'm on the countdown. About 9:30, they're going to cut the power up here.
Right. Now turn my speaker on. I can hear. Hopefully.
So if I disappear, it would probably be transferred to you unless somebody else comes on here.
I was having trouble getting on. First, it didn't want to use the link, but it managed it because iPhones their operating systems had an update this morning to iOS 26.1. And it's changed stuff around a bit.
Yeah, Jody, I agree. But he got on finally. Yeah, it really is wrong time of year for them to be doing a system. What do they call it? As part of our commitment to provide you with safer, more reliable energy, we are updating the electrical infrastructure in your area. The nature of the work will require interrupting your electric service. Crews will work quickly and safely to keep the interruption as short as possible, beginning at 9:30 a.m.
Well, either means they put in a new transformer online or they're relaying cables.
Yeah, something. Here comes Justin.
Hey, Justin.
Good morning, Justin.
Uh,
Yeah, this is it. This is the big day. They're going to cut my power here in probably about 20 minutes or so.
they knock on your door or what?
No, I when I went, I did a ship this morning. I was coming back and parked down by the bridge was 5 DTE Energy, 1 tons, and I pulled up next to him and says, "Is that still on?" Oh yeah, and I said, "Are you guys doing it?" And they says, "No, a contractor is."
Wow.
And I says, they said, "Yeah." I says, "I live up on Garfield on Stone Street, north of Garfield." They said, "Yep, you'll be affected."
They say what they were doing?
No, he didn't. He says the private contractors are going to be doing work on the electrical system.
I guess
Brenda.
they put in new cabling in.
No, we got all kinds of cables up here. It's just I think it's like you said, they're going to be changing out a transformer or something, a major intersection transformer.
Why don't you just go hook your generator up to the house?
I could do that, but my generator I haven't started it and it doesn't start up.
Might want to get that looked at before you go into the winter season. Starts
Yep.
getting-
Well, the problem is I used to have a trailer and I could take it places and have it looked at. Now I don't have any way to transport it.
What'd you do with the trailer?
Sold it.
Why'd you sell the trailer?
I've had several trailers and I keep buying and selling them. Now I don't have the extra money to buy a trailer.
Like, I understand selling a trailer that you're not using, but they had a reason. Got Brenda, Jody.
But I don't think
Dustin,
my
JD.
generator will start. Stay
What's
right
up,
there.
Nadia?
I'm gonna go check it. I'll be right back.
What's up, Nadia? How you doing, man?
Thought he had a big generator though. How the hell's
He
he going to
does.
get a trailer in the first place then?
He does have a big generator. It's like one of those big welder generators. Like the ones you or it's probably like the size of a fridge, maybe a little bit bigger.
Yeah.
Those are big enough to run a whole house. So.
Yeah, but I think he'd have problems getting it onto a trailer in the first place now.
I don't know how the hell he got it off the trailer. Unless whoever came and bought the trailer did it for him.
Mm. Mind you, over there, you've got to register each trailer, haven't you, as well? Like Uncle Bill was saying, he has to have a registration for his car, his motorbike, his scooter, his wife's car, his boat, and the trailer he carries the boat on.
Yep.
We just register cars. Anything the car pulls gets the same number plate as the car.
What do you mean the 9070 XT and 9000 series 8 core? I don't know what that is on here.
Eh?
Saying he's building a new PC, but I know there's a graphics card 9070 XT, but that would be I don't think it's 8 gigs. Because core would be the CPU along with how many threads. So usually 8 core would be like 12 threads or 16 threads.
Oh, Eddie's there. None ya.
Yeah, what I'm talking about.
Yeah, and Dusty. Brenda. Jody.
Jody and Dusty, how about instead of having 3 little dinky ass generators, you just get one big ass one? Seriously, like instead of buying 3 or 4 small ones that can run a couple things, just spend the money and get a big ass one that can run your whole house, you know? 'Cause even those little generators ain't cheap. You're talking anywhere between $400 to $600. And you got 3 of them, shit. Might as well spend a few thousand and get a big generator.
You can get an 8 kilowatt generator over here for around about £200 to £300.
I mean, I'd keep one small one just as a backup. But shit, if I'm gonna spend that kind of money on a bunch of little ones, I'd just go ahead and buy a big ass one.
Yeah. I mean, I've got a 750 watt generator, which won't do much, but it's handy.
Okay. So that wouldn't be 8 core. None yet, it'd be 8 gigs. That'd be how much memory it has, because if it was a core, it'd be a CPU, not a GPU. We have 2 house ones and 1 people borrow.
Go on.
What do you mean 2 house ones? Like you have 2 that can run the whole house? I thought you just had little ones that you could plug like a fridge, a TV, and a couple other things in there.
Lay down.
Oh, because if I'm gonna be out of power and I'm gonna spend the money on a generator, I want my AC running.
Well, the thing of it is I've never been ahead enough to what I'd like to get is one of those Generac generators that
Those
automatically comes on, you know?
yeah, but unless you got the money to outright buy one, that's something you got to get financed for. Like you'll have to get financed from the company for it.
I don't have a good credit rating, so
Unless you, like I said, unless you had the money to out, most people don't have the money to outright buy one of those
no, I don't.
because I think those things can range from like 15 to 25 grand.
No, you can get one for about $5,000 to $7,000.
Yeah, but you got to think of the installation,
Yeah,
parts.
you got to get stuff to it. Yep.
This is what I'm talking about. The whole kit and caboodle, you're probably looking at close to 15 to 20 grand because you got to have somebody come and install it if you don't know what you're doing. And then you got to figure out what you're hooking it up to. Is it going to be gas, natural gas? Is it going to be like propane? And then if you're doing propane, then you got to go and call and get a tank put in, filled up. I mean, it can cost a lot to get going. And if you don't already have gas hooked up, say you don't have natural gas, now you got to call the gas company and have them come out. If you don't already have a meter,
I
they
have
have to run
natural
a
gas
line.
already. Yep.
Yeah, because yeah, like Dusty said, electricians are costing an arm and a leg, man.
Oh yeah, electricians and plumbers.
But that's why they say electrician, plumbers, and even HVAC guys. That's considered a top tier job these days because those guys, most of those guys on average will make over 100,000 a year.
Yeah, refrigeration engineers and
Yep.
dentists.
You know, especially if you're in a hot area.
They're all up there amongst the lawyers now.
I'm saying, especially if you're in a hot area like Florida that's humid, man, the air conditioning business booms during the summertime. I mean, as a technician, you could probably make enough in 3-4 months of summer to probably get you through the rest of the year, and you wouldn't even have to work.
Yeah.
If you wanted, if you know, if you were just working for yourself and you were smart with your money.
Well, iOS updated to 26.1 this morning.
Fucking JD. I'm not repeating that just in case Homeland Security's listening. Just saying.
Justin, just to be safe, I'm going to make you the host right now.
That's fine. It don't matter anyway. If it kicked you off, it would just default one of us.
Because, like I say, the notice I got says scheduled for 9:30 a.m. and lasting approximately 1 hour 45 minutes. So that'd be 10:30. That'd be 11:15 by the time they get done. If they stay on that schedule.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a feeling if I repeat what JD put in there, though, it's going to trigger like some Homeland Security thing somewhere in the NSA.
I shall read it then.
All these fucking servers start kicking on at the NSA and the CIA. Did what?
Yeah, because once the electric comes back, then of course I got to go back and reset all my my cameras and everything and all my box and
Shouldn't have to. It should all just reconnect once the power comes back on and your internet kicks back in. You shouldn't have to reset anything.
Yeah, but he's he's best off switching all his computers off before, not necessarily before the power goes off, but certainly before it goes back on again, to avoid any spikes when it switches on.
Yeah, yeah, I agree with 100%. But like I said, most devices will auto reconnect to your internet once their power comes back on and the internet kicks
Oh
back
yeah,
on.
should do.
Well, I think in this notification, I don't agree with it because I'm not going to go around and do this, play monkey. But it says if you plan, well, no, appliances and other electronic equipment such as TVs, refrigerators, computers should be disconnected and left unplugged until after the electric is back on.
And that's because of what Mark said. You could always have a surge in power if they screw something up. So they're warning you that it's always a possibility.
Yeah, if you haven't got any anti-surge stuff in. Yeah.
Well, 4 minutes to go until 9:30.
Dude, I'd love to be the guy about to flip the switch too, counting down.
You would.
Fucking shut down half the neighborhood.
Not just the neighborhood. I think it's all in north of Port Huron. It'd be probably 50,000 people.
Oh, that sounds like a major transformer.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're probably working at one of those big stations or something with all the transformers and shit in them.
Yeah.
Just turned up. Was that Ed?
Was what?
Somebody just turned up,
Hold on.
didn't they? Or did
I heard,
No.
I heard something beep.
you didn't hear it because you're not host no more, Paul. That's why. Hold
Okay.
on a second.
Yeah, you've not put yourself as co-host.
You
But I
can't
can't.
once you give it up.
I can't put myself as co-host.
No, you can't.
Once I transfer the host over to,
Yeah, Justin will have to make you co-host.
hey Ed,
Well, no point if he's going to lose power here in a couple minutes.
so what he's saying, Mark, is I'm pretty much pointless.
Morning, good morning.
I hear somebody's either got a car running. I think a car's running. It almost sounded like a generator, but it wasn't.
They do here, JD, like whenever they do any of the utilities. We got one a few months back when they had to fix the water lines. They were they had some issue, water main break somewhere in town, and they had to fix it. And
Boone, lay down.
they were gonna fix it because it was leaking. They warned everybody the day before.
Good morning, everybody in the chat.
Hey, how you doing, Ed?
Good, good. Just got up. Still half asleep.
It's 9:29 here.
I know, that's why I ran.
But because I just might be able to say goodbye, but I
The only ones I've never gotten a warning from was the cable company. They'll
The
just,
sheep.
the internet company, they'll just cut it off. But usually it's not more than like 30 minutes when they're fixing something. They're
Hey,
usually pretty
Justin,
quick. What?
isn't it better if he shuts off the computer instead of just power going off?
Yeah, we just told them that, but that's up to Paul to do that.
Yeah.
Because they sent him in the letter that he needs to unplug all his appliances too, but he said he's not doing it. So
well, you think I should sign this off then?
So you just don't,
later, Jim.
you don't want to blow your computers. That's
No, we don't. You don't need to sign the stream off. It's your computer. Like you should shut it down before the power goes out.
Just turn it off by the switch.
No, just turn it off. Like shut it down like you normally do.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because
I'm gonna do that right now.
yeah, because the thing is, that can always mess your computer up with a bunch of programs open and it just clicks off. So,
No, it's up to you. I'm not saying for you to do it. Don't.
it's not good to shut your computer down or your computer just to shut off and there's a bunch of programs open. You should close
Well,
everything down first.
the best thing to do is make it so that your hard drives are all parked if you've got normal hard drives. Otherwise, the head stays in the wrong place.
Yeah, that and like I said, like when you go to shut down your computer and you got a bunch of programs open, it will tell you that it's going to close them first, and it will start like going through all the programs, closing them, and then it will shut itself down. But when it just shuts off like that, yeah, like you said, yeah, your hard drive can get stuck, different things.
Was that him going? I think so.
So, yeah,
Oh, he didn't have to go just because I said it. I mean,
No, he has to go if he's got to switch his computer off.
yeah,
no,
yeah.
he said that the power just shut off. He called me, so he didn't. I don't think he got it shut down in time.
Oh shit.
Well, just as long as he turns them off now, so they don't turn on automatically. That's the problem. Not so much turning off as turning back on again. That's when it causes the damage.
Jody said, just come back on your phone. Yeah, we tried to tell Paul
Yeah.
how to do that one day and he couldn't figure it out. Yeah, you might as well go to Tim Hortons and get some Boston creams and hang out there for a little bit.
No, they might have no power either.
Oh, that's true too, unless they got a generator, yeah.
Yeah.
They might have a generator though. I know a lot of businesses and areas that are prone to power outages.
Mm.
Some of them will have them.
Oh yeah, big business will have it.
Yeah, and coming on his phone, he'd have to use his data allowance, which I don't know whether he's got any or not, because his Wi-Fi will be off as well.
Like Walmart's just started putting fucking generators finally on their stores in the last year or two. I don't know how many times the hurricanes hit and fucking knocked their power out and they didn't have anything and they had to throw hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of food and shit out.
Oh yeah.
And they just two years ago, they just installed generators on both the Walmarts in my town. They finally got them put in.
Here, Justin, I'll send you a picture of my little guy.
Our Tesco's has just had new fridges. You know, all the open fridges, the coolers that they have stuff in, like your cooked meats and bacon and meats and stuff like that. They've just replaced all the open coolers with closed door fridges, which means that now I can't see what the hell's behind the doors, because although they're glass, they're now too far away from me, having to stand the other side of the door and not be able to see what the hell's in the fridge. Pain in the ass.
How long ago was that picture taken?
That was about 12 years, 10 years.
JD said, I found a Tim Hortons up in Frankenmuth. We tried some of the donut holes and cinnamon rolls, pretty good.
Mm.
Yeah, I didn't mind their donuts and stuff like but this was years ago. When we lived up in Buffalo, my sister used to go to Tim Hortons all the time. Me and my sister were living up there.
Frankenmuth is that area where it's all Bavarian and German people that live in it.
Yeah, Tim Hortons is starting to expand pretty far in the US. I don't think we have any in Florida yet. I wouldn't be surprised if we don't get some at some point though.
I think we've got 3 around Manchester now.
Yeah, they've been popping up in England all over the place.
Yeah.
Okay, so in 2026 in Southwest Florida, they're planning on opening multiple locations in Port Charlotte, Bradenton, and Ellington areas.
Mm.
So they're going to be opening up down by where TJ lives at. Those areas.
Cool.
But like I said, when companies start getting big like that and start, especially when they start expanding into other countries, I don't know, dude. Sometimes the quality will start going downhill of what people were normally used to. Oh, the world's biggest Christmas store. Was that the one that that Lynn was talking about that one time, JD? Four football fields of ornaments and decorations. That's a fucking big store.
Yeah, that's big.
4 football fields. It's got to be what, at least a 500,000 square feet, somewhere in there.
Is Lynn still okay? I've not heard her. She's not messaged me for ages.
I haven't even talked to her either. She used to message me every once in a while, but
Yeah.
I haven't heard from her either. Let's see how big that. 320,000 square feet.
That's big.
It's a set of 27 acres of grounds and offering over 50,000 different Christmas items a year round. But it's the store itself, the building size is 320,000 square feet. The sales room is 96,000 square feet. But the entire ground span 27 landscape acres.
Well, it's stopped raining now. It's been raining most of the morning.
It's all cloudy here, like overcast, but it's not like rain looking clouds. I don't know if we're going to get any rain or not. Stayed at a casino down in New Buffalo. Really nice rooms and only $80 a night. Yeah, that's not much more than what you'd pay for a fucking Hotel 6 room, so that's not bad. Those usually are like 60, $70. And those are hit or miss. Some of them are nice and some of them are fucking run down.
We got to go to the cemetery today at some point. It's my brother that died at birth's anniversary today.
Sorry to hear that.
How old was he, if you don't mind me asking?
Hey,
How old is he now? Like,
he would be 60. When was it? 1966. So he'd be 59, I think, now.
And he died in 1966, you said?
Yeah, he was stillborn.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Fortunately, children's deaths back in the day were really high,
Yeah.
especially back in the early 1900s, man. Yeah, like I said, some of these graveyards you go through, it's kind of sad with the older graveyards. So many kids'
Yeah.
graves.
Yeah.
Back when they had all the a
Yeah,
lot of the diseases and stuff that are now considered eradicated from
yeah.
vaccines.
Yeah. It's also 29 years today since I moved into my house.
oh wow. Time just flies by.
Mm,
Seems like yesterday my kids were just babies and now they're fucking outgrown,
Yeah.
2 of them.
Mhm.
Like my 2 oldest are going to be graduating high school next year.
mm. What, they're going to graduate at the same time?
Yeah, because Kelsey got held back a year
Oh,
when she was in elementary.
right.
Because she got diagnosed with dyslexia, and so we took her to a specialist for that.
Yeah.
For about 2 years straight, she went every week and studied with this lady, and she doesn't seem to affect her much now that she's older. So, because like I said, she maintains A's and B's, so doesn't seem to affect her too bad. So I
Yeah.
guess taking her to that specialist when she was young was
Must have
helped
worked.
out a
Yeah.
lot.
Yeah, Kate's dyslexic. When she sends me text messages, I've got to translate them.
So yeah, she was a year ahead of her brother, and then when she got held back, they ended up in the same grade together. So Thomas used to do her homework for her back when they were in elementary school.
You shouldn't be saying that, Justin.
Oh, he was sitting at the table one day when he was in like I think he was in 3rd or 4th grade, and she couldn't do her homework, and he called her an imbecile. And I just don't know where the hell he found that word from. And then he told her she was an incompetent fool, and then took her homework and proceeded to start doing it for her.
Oh wow.
I'll never forget that. I was so stunned by what he said, I was just thrown back by it. I was like, okay. Like I said, Thomas has always been in advanced classes, especially since he's been in high school. So he's always been ahead of his peers in his grade. He probably could have skipped a grade, to be honest.
I haven't heard that word in a long time, imbecile.
He said, if you weren't such an imbecile and an incompetent fool, you'd be able to do your homework. That's what he said to her.
Oh, dear.
And he was only in like 3rd or 4th grade when he said it.
You probably were like, what?
Dude, I was so like, just me and Sarah just turned and were like, "The fuck did he just say?" And we were just so floored by it, like just stunned by what he had just said that I had to walk in the other room because I started laughing. I was like, I wasn't expecting him to say something like that.
And she didn't say nothing, your sister? Didn't say nothing back?
So what's third or fourth grade? Like 8 or 9?
Yeah, around there.
Hmm.
It's funny.
Yeah, he probably would have been 8 and she would have been 9 at the time.
Hmm.
They're just a little bit a year
Well,
apart.
well, what's your first grade? Is that like 4 or 5 years old?
You talking about kindergarten?
Well, I don't know when you call it first grade.
Well, kindergarten you normally would start at. It could be anywhere between 4 to 6, depending on when your birthday falls. Most kids, it's 5. They'll be 5 years old. And then first grade, you'd be around 6.
Right.
But then you also have preschool before kindergarten. Most kids, it's not a requirement, but most kids will go to preschool to try to get ahead for when they get into kindergarten. They kind of already know some of the stuff.
Yeah.
A lot of daycares are daycare / preschools. So you can drop your kid off there when you're going to work, and then they also do teaching while they're there. It's not just a place to babysit, you know.
Hmm.
They do they'll teach them like shapes and colors and numbers and stuff like that. Which all my kids went to preschool and the kindergarten.
I think here now, I think preschool would be 3 years old and kindergarten's 4, and then elementary school starts at 5.
I would. I'm so glad I don't have to pay daycare anymore. Fuck, man, that shit was expensive back in the day. Spending a third of my check every week on fucking daycare.
Yeah.
And that was with vouchers because you could get like government vouchers to help you cover some of it. And it's still expensive even after that. You'll still spend $100
Here's
and
not
something
cheap.
a week.
Hmm.
Oh yeah, it's not cheap. That's why I'm glad my kids are old enough now. Like technically Aubrey's not old enough to stay home by herself, but the other two are way over the age to be able to stay home, so we can still leave the house and go somewhere. And Kelsey can keep an eye on Aubrey.
Those cocksuckers were not supposed to start till 9. They're already making noise. Hope somebody calls on them.
Who?
They're building an apartment building right behind my complex there. Like we have a law that we on the weekends you cannot make noise until after 9.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a sound ordinance.
And they have this machine that pounds down the pylons.
Oh yeah, jackhammer.
Well, it's like a crane and it has a hammer and it just fucking just boom,
Yeah.
boom.
Ours, they can start
Well,
as soon as
they
the
call it
sun comes up.
right? Isn't it? A pile driver.
Yeah, pile driver. Yeah.
Oh, they can start work here as soon as the sun
No,
comes up.
no, not us, man. You know how many times we had the cops called on us when we worked on Saturdays?
Yeah, they would. If you called the cops on a contractor here, and they were out there at 6:30, 7 o'clock in the morning, the cops would show them down. Ain't nothing we can do. It's daytime. They're working. That's exactly what they tell you.
We
Yeah.
would get a warning, and then if we were done it again in the same area, the company would get charged.
Yeah, I don't think
Right.
they're supposed to start until 8 o'clock here. But I mean, our highway code says that you can't sound your car horn between the hours of 11 at night and 11 in the morning.
You can make noise anytime you want if there's no houses around.
Oh yeah, because most sound ordinances usually are in cities, city settings. They usually don't have those in like real rural areas because you're so spread out. And then they might even have one, but never use it because, like I said, people are so spread out they don't ever have a problem with that.
Mm.
And then here, I think it's after 10 p.m. Anything after 10 p.m. they can get you for. If you're being loud, like if you're having a house party or something like that, you got people
Yeah.
over.
Good morning, John Shots.
And then
Yeah,
there's
here it's
certain
11 o'clock.
And then there's certain days of the year where the sound ordinance doesn't apply at all, like New Year's Eve, 4th of July. Nope. Dude, I don't give a shit if 10 of your neighbors are firing off fireworks till 3 o'clock in the morning. Cops ain't gonna do a fucking thing. Those 2 nights, they do not have any sound ordinances set in place for those 2 nights because they know people are going to be up till 2, 3 in the morning shooting fireworks off. And there's just way too many people doing it to try to enforce it, so they don't even do it. But most people will die off with the fireworks at the latest, usually 3 in the morning, and then any time after that, usually you don't hear anything. But even then, it's still kind of rare to hear somebody that late. Usually they'll kill off around 12 to 1. You'll start to hear people less and less of them.
It's just the younger kids.
It's just hard to if you got to work the next day, it fucking sucks. So. Because that's all you hear all night is fucking fireworks.
Yeah.
But luckily, working for the school board, we always have those days off, so don't have to worry about it. Oh yeah, because you'll have lawn guys out at 7 o'clock in the morning on Saturdays mowing people's lawns. Most people will never say anything, no matter even if it's that early. But occasionally, you'll get that one person that gets really pissed off, and they'll try calling the cops, and then they do nothing but piss the cops off from having to go out there for nothing because there ain't nothing they can do about it. Because a lot of people don't bother looking stuff up like that before they call the cops. Otherwise, you'd know it's pointless to even call them at that point.
Yeah, no, here they do it.
And then, like the trash truck, they come through at like 4 in the morning. You'll hear them coming through the neighborhood. All you hear is every time they hit a trash. Every time a trash can goes up on the thing, you hear a loud ass banging noise. But that's so quick though. Like they'll get through your street within like 2-3 minutes. So it's not like it's consistent for a long period of time. So it's usually not bad. But they start really early in the morning. They'll be out at for anywhere between 3 and 4 in the morning getting trash. And that's because they don't want to get all in that traffic and shit. That's why they start so early here. To avoid all the
Yeah,
traffic.
they do that here too.
Because there's nothing worse than trying to go down a road in a trash truck and fucking everybody's leaving for work. You got cars coming up and down the roads. Because they'll still be out even when you get up at 6, 7 o'clock in the morning. You'll still see them out, but by that time they've got a majority of their run done. So
Yeah, we have those that go to the business and pick up the beans, and then you have the other ones that have 2 people in the back that pick up your garbage out of your garbage cans.
yeah, they don't do that anymore here. They're all just claw trucks now with the claws that reach out and grab them.
Cool.
The trash guys are lazy too. If they drop your trash can and half the shit falls out, they won't even get out of the truck and pick it up. They'll just keep fucking driving. And you can't put anything extra outside your trash can because they will not throw it away. So if you got an extra bag, you better prop it on top of the trash can really good and hope it bounces all the way up to the truck
Yeah.
without falling off. Because otherwise, if it falls off the side of the trash can when they go to grab it, they'll just leave it sitting there. Those guys don't get out of the truck for nothing.
Ours
I
is-
know.
I mean,
got
we've got wheelie, but the guys have to come and put it against the back of the collector to lift it up and everything. But they won't touch anything if it's not in the bin. So if you put an extra bag out because your bin's full, tough, that stays there.
Oh, and ours do. It's the same thing. They put in the back of the machine, and the machine lifts it inside the garbage truck.
Yeah,
We,
because you'll
we
get
got the recycle in the garbage.
you'll get new people around here moving in sometimes, and they'll go to the store and buy like another trash can, their own private trash can, and then they'll go and put it out by the road, and then they get all pissed off because the garbage guys won't touch it. They'll just leave it sitting there, and people will go buy extra trash cans thinking that they can just put 10 trash cans out by the road and they're just going to empty all of them. No, if it ain't in their bin that's made for their claw to pick up, they ain't touching it. Because they physically cannot put the trash into the trash truck without emptying that container into the one that's made for their claw. Is that they grab one of those small trash cans with that claw, it's probably going to fucking break it. Because the ones we have are really heavy duty. The ones for the trash truck. I mean, they slam those things down when they hit the ground. They bring it back down. They fucking slam them. Sometimes they fall over. What are you saying, Mark?
Our bins are all plastic.
Yeah, ours are too. But they're just like the ones for the trash trucks are just really, really thick plastic.
So they just got the two wheels on them so that you have to tilt them like a truck. So they just wheel on two wheels.
Yeah, like a hand cart. That's the way ours are too.
Yeah.
Well, we used to have the trucks that come around that had two guys on the back. The only time I still see them doing that is when they're doing refuge pickup. Like if it's bagged up like yard waste, they'll sometimes use those trucks, but normally they'll just bring a big claw truck and the guy will get out of the truck and he'll get on the back on the seat that's built in the back and he'll operate this big massive claw and it'll come off the back of the truck and then they can just grab all kinds of shit.
Yeah, because yours empty them into the top, don't they? Into the top.
Yeah.
Ours just go in the back of the truck and then they have a compactor that squeezes it all.
Yeah, we used to have those. I used to see those trucks, but I haven't seen one of those in a long time. Because they would have two guys jump off the back and they'd run, grab two trash cans, they'd connect it to the back, and then it would lift it up, dump it, and then the compactor would suck it to the back of the truck.
Yeah.
And then they would. To me, it was faster doing it that way because your two guys are just running down the street grabbing trash cans left and right. But I see kind of why they probably went to claw only because now they're not paying three guys to do one truck. They're just paying one dude. That's probably why they went to that. Because this probably saves them a lot of money. See here, we don't have a cart for yard waste, but we have to put them in black. They have to be specific trash bags. They have to be all black yard waste bags.
Yeah, recyclable bags that will decompose. Yeah.
Yeah, and you pile them up on the side of the yard, and then, like I said, the guy will show up in this big ass massive claw, and this crane will come down, and he'll just grab them. And some of those guys are precise as shit too. Like some of those guys you can tell have like OCD, dude. I was watching one guy one day and he was picking up a bunch of yard waste after the hurricane here. and there was two little sticks on the ground that was left from the pile. And he's sitting there like adjusting the claw and just ever so slightly pinches the two sticks to pick them up and put them in the trunk. Like it'd have been easier just to jump off the truck and grab them and throw them up in there.
Yeah, no, we have 4 separate bins. One for metal and plastic and glass, one for paper, one for garden waste, and one for rubbish.
Now, if
Oh,
it's a large amount of like yard waste, like say you cut a tree down or something, you can just pile it up on the side of the road, but it's got to be cut down to a certain size. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then they will, unless it's after a hurricane. After a hurricane, there's really no rules because of the devastation. So the
Yeah,
state tells them you got to get it anyway. So they'll come out and pick shit up anyway because they have to. They're kind of forced to do it, you know. But during normal times, it has to be cut to a certain length. Like all the restrictions on trash and stuff go out the window after a hurricane. They pretty much tell them you got to pick everything up. There is no options. You guys are responsible to get everything cleaned up.
that's pretty cool, JD, that they do that.
Shelby Pereira.
Yeah, that's what they do here too. They got a big the trash company here has a big composting area. It's like a big yard that they take all the compost to, like all the tree trimmings, all that stuff, and they pile it up in these massive ass piles, and then they sell it because you'll see trucks coming out of there from companies filling up with it. They stopped the recycling though. They're not doing that anymore. But they didn't ever came around and picked up all the recycling bins. So everybody's just been using them as second trash cans. And they're emptying them. They're just not doing the recycling anymore. I was real surprised they didn't come around and get all the bins, but they told everybody they could just use them as trash cans now. So everybody's got pretty much 2 trash cans now. The only time I do bags, Dusty, if it's just like leaves and small twigs and shit. But if it's a bunch of big branches and stuff, I just pile it up. They'll still take it. But see, since I live in the county area, technically I'm in the city, but I'm in county. I'm not in the city limits. I'm in a more of an outer suburb. So I have to call and schedule a pickup. They don't just come around every week like they do in the city. You just have to call them and let them know you got something that needs to be picked up, and then they'll show up within a couple days after you call them. In the city limits, they're required to come around every week, and they have to drive up and down each street and check them. And if they see something, they have to stop and pick it up. They just don't do that in the county area because a lot of the county area is really rural, so they'd be kind of driving nonstop for no reason. So they don't really require them to do that. I can burn in my backyard, but last time I did that, 2 of the neighbors got all pissed off at me. They said I was smoking up their fucking their backyard. Actually, one of the neighbors was the old lady that used to live next to us, and she moved out. She was the one that was always bitching about saying my dogs were outside barking at 2 in the morning. It's like my dogs aren't even outside at that time. Turned out it was the neighbor's dog behind us. She was the one I walked over to her. She put this notice on our door about sound ordinances with animals after 10 p.m. I walked over there and I knocked on her door and she opened the door. I said, because she was the same one that was complaining about kids playing outside during the daytime and being too loud. She was complaining about my kids and the neighbors that lived on the other side of her because they were out there playing basketball during the day. My son would go over there and the kids would always be playing basketball in the driveway, the basketball hoop. And she was complaining that our kids and their kids were being too loud in the middle of the damn day in the summer. So I walked over there with the paperwork. I knocked on the door. She opened the door. I said, if you don't want to live in a neighborhood with kids and you're old and grouchy, I said, I would suggest you move in a 55 and older community. And I fucking threw the paperwork into her door, inside her door when she opened it. And then like 3 weeks later, she moved out, sold the house. And then some other lady moved in, bought the house. She's a big dog lover. I haven't had no problems with her. She don't complain about the kids. She don't complain about the dogs. Her dog sits out and barks, during the daytime. I don't complain about it. Yeah, and I understood why they got mad about me burning, JD. That's why I haven't done it since then. If anything, if I'm going to burn in the backyard, I need to get a 55-gallon drum where I can contain the fire, have better control over the smoke coming out, If you burn in a drum, you don't tend to have that problem. You can get a nice smoke going straight up instead of all over the place. The spread out, pile on the ground.
Start going to your neighbor's kitchen window.
That lady was just grouchy as shit, though, dude.
Yeah.
Because one of the things I said to her, I said, I hear everybody your age all the time bitching about how kids aren't outside playing, and you're complaining that kids are out here playing basketball in the middle of the day. I've never heard anybody complain about kids being outside playing. And it wasn't like they were anywhere near her yard or anything. They weren't running through her yard, nothing like that. Really weird lady, man. Very grouchy. Definitely a get off my lawn type person.
Wow, that's crazy.
Dude, I don't care if kids are running up and down the street screaming all day. As long as they're not tearing my yard up or doing anything stupid, I don't care. That's what kids do. Dusty said they had a Karen the other day call on them because she was saying the HOA said no work before 8. And the homeowner said, F her, no rule about 8 a.m. Oh, yeah, if you live in a HOA, you better know the fucking rules in there, I'll tell you that. But guess what? The state legislation now in Florida, there's 2 different state legislators that are proposing to ban HOAs in Florida altogether now. They want them gone now. They're getting sick of all their constituents complaining to them about the HOAs. Dude, that's going to be a big shakeup if that happens. Because now I'm wondering how it's going to work with how are these neighborhoods going to manage all these clubhouses and public pools that they've built, golf courses? Like, who's going to take in money and manage it to maintain that stuff now? Because that's the way a lot of those communities have built up to where they built like their own little city inside of there. So somebody's going to have to collect money in order to upkeep all that shit. So I guess maybe a third party company just for maintenance. I don't know how that's going to work. Well, that's the other one they're doing too. They're going to put on the ballot for no property taxes anymore. But see, that can't be put in by the state legislation. Can't vote on that. It has to be voted on by the public. So that's why they haven't done it yet. That has to go into the midterm election vote. But there's rumors from what I've heard, it's only going to be for people that have their houses paid off. I don't know if it's going to be for everybody. From what I've gathered, that's what it's going to be, but I'm not entirely sure. And they're not even sure what they're doing, but that was one of the proposals they made was that it would only be for people with their houses paid off, not that still owe money on it. And then the people that owe money on it would get a slight reduction in property tax. It wouldn't be a full on. But we'll see how. I mean, we don't know until they actually put the bill up for. They actually put a bill in to be voted on. That's when everybody will actually know what the actual terms are of it. Because I would definitely read into it, Dusty, when they actually put it up for the vote. You can make sure that it does apply to you because I know you're still paying a mortgage. So because I totally agree with that. At least if you own the home and you've done paid it off, I think you shouldn't be having to pay property taxes. I think that's stupid. And the one thing they said they were going to do is they're going to make it to where the tourist tax. No. If there's a tax on, if it's a tourism tax, that's going to make up for that. So the citizens of Florida don't have to make up that tax somewhere else. Yes, if you rent a hotel in Florida, you're going to pay that tax, but it's going to be like $1.25, something like that. It's not going to be something you're going to be making or breaking your vacation on. Because they said Florida's averaging about 150 million visitors a year right now. So it's not going to be nothing crazy. But yeah, if you go and so he said that if you go and stay at a hotel, you wouldn't have to pay the tax. I guess they would go by your license then at that point. You got a Florida license. The last time I heard, he just said they were going to make it up through tourism tax. Well, like 2-3 months ago, when I heard him talking about it, he didn't specify whether a Floridian would have to pay that tax if they stayed somewhere. But I would assume if unless they put that in the ruling for it or in the bill for it, they wouldn't determine whether you were a Floridian or not. Like I said, we don't. We'll have to wait and see when they actually get it all together and figure out what all the stipulations are. Because at this point, we really don't know. They keep changing things around. Because he said, but when he first started talking about it, he said it might be a slight reduction or we might get rid of it altogether. But we're working on it to see what the best option is. So I know that's gonna freaking send the housing market into a boom again, probably. Especially with these companies that are buying up all these houses. If they don't have to pay property tax, man, it's gonna make them even want to buy them even more. I don't know if they're gonna do that, but. I mean, our area seems to be handling the growth pretty well. But I mean, here they're not like refurbishing anything. Everything's just being torn down and rebuilt. Roads, power lines, everything. I say you drive through my city and most of it looks brand fucking new. Like it was just built yesterday. All the roads, the sidewalks, everything, because they've just redone everything. They've redone like all the water systems, the drainage systems. Yeah. They got black bear hunting this weekend, huh?
Hmm.
I've only ever seen one of those and he was dead on the side of the road. Or he was actually in the middle of the road, but he got hit by it looked like an 18-wheeler. I've never actually seen a live one run across the road or anything. Oh yeah, Dusty. I see how fast they're getting them subdivisions up. It's crazy how quick they build them. Especially since everything's prefab, like the framing and everything's all prefabricated now. Like they're not having to sit and cut all the wood and put it together right there on site. That makes it even faster. But I've heard that that's an issue with the concrete as well. That they're not giving it time to cure long enough and they're already putting the block walls on. I've heard that's been a problem. Like, how long are you guys supposed to let a concrete slab cure for a house before you start putting shit on it? Like a week or?
It actually takes 28 days to reach maximum strength.
Would that depend on the mixture though that you're using? Which I'm assuming would be different in different
Here,
areas, right?
here, here where I am is 14 days from the day you pour. A garage pad, you're not allowed to drive on it for 14 days.
Well, like I said too, it would probably depend on the mixture too of what environment you're in, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So in your area, Mark, it'd be 28 days.
Well, 28 days is when a concrete will reach maximum strength. You can probably start working on it before that. It's just that, like when you're doing the test cubes to find out how strong the mix is, you've got to do it at, I think it's 7 days and 28 days.
Okay.
Oh, bro, when they start building a house here, when they do the basement, they pour it and then they take the boards out, and the next day they're rebuilding the wood on top of it.
Well, that's what Dusty was talking about in the chat there. About how they're not even giving the slabs enough time to cure, and a day or two later they're already building on it,
Oh yeah. Oh, yeah.
which is causing foundations to crack.
Yeah.
You guys don't put that membrane, that it's like
I
the rubber stuck all the way around and tar.
I don't. Dusty might know. I have no idea, dude. I don't do construction, so I'm not
Yeah,
sure.
put a waterproof visqueen layer on.
Yeah, all the way around the house.
Yeah.
And then they put black tar.
Yeah, the damp proof course.
I did that for a while. I hated.
That's like the Hoover Dam is so thick. They said that concrete's still curing. They said it would take up to 100 years for that dam to fully cure because how thick the concrete is on that thing.
Mm-hmm.
They said in some areas of it it's still wet.
Or when concrete cures, it causes quite a bit of heat. It's an exothermic reaction.
Mhm. It's one of the dirtiest jobs out there is pipe layer and building basements. Because those guys, rain or no rain, they work on the rain.
Okay, Dusty said mylar plastic. Yes, they do that before they put the rebar in the foundation. But they're doing it so fast. I walk into houses daily, and they're being built with huge thumb-sized cracks.
Mm.
Or he's seeing huge thumb-sized cracks in the foundations.
Oh wow.
He's got a tiny thumb, so it's not that
Hmm.
big. I've noticed here, I would see like the four houses they were building over by one of our stops. They poured the slabs. They sat there for probably about a week and a half and they didn't do anything. And then they started putting up the block walls after about, I want to say it was about a week and a half, 2 weeks.
Yeah, because they probably were waiting for the material.
Because they were just building this like little section. It was just four little houses they were building in this one area. It's kind of out in the middle of nowhere, but it was out on 60 where one of our first bus stops are at.
Here, most of the time, your walls already come pre-made. Your trusses come pre-made.
Oh, that's what I was saying. They're all prefab. Now, see here, they have to brick the whole first floor. Has to be what is it, the big bricks, god damn, I'm having a mind blank. uh the big square bricks.
Yeah, you got the ones with the two holes,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
cylinder bricks. Yeah, the
Yeah,
cinder
that's
bricks.
so yeah, cinder blocks. So they got to do the whole first floor in cinder blocks if it's 2-story, and then they frame it in after they do that.
Oh shit, eh?
But like I said, they don't. That's one way they get these houses up so quick, is because they're not sitting there with the fucking table saw cutting all these 2x4s and shit. All this shit comes pre-built on a fucking truck, and they just deliver it.
Mhm.
And they can get a tire frame of a house up in a day, because they're not. Other than that, they'd spend a week just cutting wood to put it all together.
Yeah.
It's all done in a
No,
factory.
everything comes pre-made here.
Yeah, it's all done in a factory by machines and done in mass scale. Especially these cookie cutter homes where every fourth house is the same. They have 4 different designs. They start spitting it through these big machines, and it just starts cutting 2x4s in mass amounts. They don't have to sit and cut one at a time.
Mm-mm.
Not
They got
every house. I mean, there's some builders that build their own walls and stuff here too, but mostly it's just everything
well, we're
comes
talking
pre-made.
about the big corporate builders. Because there was one house, too, that was out by 60, and you could tell that it was probably being built by just a couple of guys, because it took them like a year and a half to get that house up. They poured the concrete, they put the framing up, and it was just one little house on a piece of property. A nice little, like, it looked like maybe a 3-bedroom house. But you could tell it was probably being built by a really small company, because it took them quite a while to get it fully done. Or somebody was doing it themselves and it just took them that long. But they were out there cutting all the wood by hand and everything when they were working on that one. But these big companies that are doing 500 home neighborhoods, no, them guys ain't doing that. Half the guys working on those job sites don't even know what the hell they're doing anyway.
Mm.
Get hired off the street as laborers. Like they say, all these illegals, they work hard. Yeah, they might work hard, but don't mean they know what the fuck they're doing at the end of the day. You think they were building modern American homes in a third world country that they came from? Come on now. They ain't that experienced. They might learn over time, but that don't mean that they didn't cut a bunch of corners at the beginning. They were first learning.
Missing a couple 2x4s.
Well, that's what I'm saying, and it depends on how well the inspectors are. And let's face it, dude, inspectors these days suck. A lot of them suck, dude. There's a couple of guys on YouTube that are real famous for going over other inspectors because somebody had the house inspected, and then they noticed a bunch of shit was wrong with it. And these guys are very thorough, and they'll show you the inspection report from the first guy that inspected the house, and then they show you their report. And they found every stupid little thing in the house. The plug was put in just slightly sideways in the wall. These guys are picking every little thing.
Down there,
And then,
down there when you buy a new house on your piece of land and they build it, the contract that does the landscaping too? All together?
If it's a subdivision, normally a landscaping company will come in and do it.
Oh, not here.
As
Here
they're
you have to pay
finishing
for it
houses.
yourself.
No, they'll have all that done before they sell the houses. The only thing that they normally don't do in some neighborhoods is they might not put fencing up between the houses. They'll leave that up to the homeowners as they're
Yeah,
moving in.
here is the same thing. They leave it up to the homeowners to
But
do the
all the
fence and
grass, the
landscaping.
trees, bushes, all that's usually put in before you buy the house. Yeah, they'll have a big landscaping company come in and put all the sod down and all that before the neighborhood's sold. You don't go in there and it's just like a bunch of muddy,
Oh no!
yards.
You buy a house for, let's say, 800,000 or 900,000. That's what you get, just a house, no landscaping. You got to do it yourself.
Oh no, they always have that done because that's part of the presentation to selling the house. So
Yeah, you'll get grass and driveways and fences here, but you won't get plants. I'd want to put plants in, you've got to do that yourself.
Yeah, you'll have your driveway done, but not.
well, a lot of times these developers already have HOAs set to go, and so they'll want the neighborhoods to look a certain way, and so they'll already have all that shit in there.
HOH.
Because some HOAs you can't just go out and plant your own plants in the front yard. You can do it in the backyard, but
We don't have HOAs, so we don't have those restrictions.
yeah, that's a problem in Florida. Is over 70% of the neighborhoods in Florida are HOAs. And this is why I said that the state legislators are getting super annoyed because so many people are writing them complaining about these HOAs overstepping their bounds. One lady down here got arrested by the police because the HOA reported her house wasn't painted correctly. And because she missed a court date, the judge put a warrant out for her arrest on the behalf of the HOA.
Oh.
And they arrested her.
Wow.
And that made like national news when that happened. And that's why I said now they're proposing to ban HOAs altogether in Florida. They want to get rid of them.
Mm.
But like I said, that's going to open up a whole new set of companies now because now you're going to have to still pay dues in order to maintain all the public things that those communities set up that the HOA was paying for at one point. Like I said, community clubhouses, the pools, the public parks that they have in some of these places, so they're gonna have to have companies that come in just where everybody has to pay the company and then they just maintain all that stuff. They're not there to set rules, they're just there as maintenance pretty much. There's gonna have to be something set up for that. Otherwise, these communities are gonna look like shit when their golf cart, they can't take care of the golf course or anything anymore.
Um,
That's not necessarily true, Dusty. The people don't want those jobs. It's just they can't get them because then they have to pay them 3 times as much as an illegal. There was a meat packing plant just recently that was full of illegals, and ICE raided it. And like there was a couple hundred of them that got arrested and taken out of there. And within a few days, they had stacks of applications from locals that wanted to work there because now they were going to have to pay them a regular hourly wage. If somebody doesn't have legal status, that means they don't have the protection of the government at a job, right? Because they can't file for legal status to work there. So you're working under the table pretty much. Do you think they're going to pay you $15 an hour as same as a legal person, or are they going to give you $5 an hour because you can't go bitch to anybody about it? That's why illegal labor is not good in the end of the day, even though everybody keeps trying to defend it. And the whole farming argument, Dusty, about picking strawberries and shit, dude, all that shit's getting automated, dude. At some point, they're not even going to need people out in the fields anymore.
yeah, but just like you said, nobody wants to do that shit.
But that's what I'm saying is a lot of farming is getting so automated these days, you don't need workers anymore.
It's just like your construction. Nobody wants to do this shit that I do. These young kids, man, they don't want none of that shit. They don't want to be on the sun for 12 hours with the sledgehammer, pounding pegs, bending over.
That does sound pretty bad, though. Pegs bending over.
Whoa, 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 whoa. I think you were going to take that.
Yeah, you said pegs pounding and bending over all in the same sentence. No, but that's why farming is actually a lot easier these days for farmers because with all the self-automation, they don't have to have 20 guys working on a farm no more.
Oh, no.
2 or 3 guys can run a farm now. That's fucking massive. Farmers have it a lot easier than their grandparents did, that's for sure.
Yeah, as long as they can afford the equipment need to do that.
Well, but the thing is that's the thing in the US, a lot of farming now is all corporatized. And corporations, they're gonna, if they can automate and save money, they're gonna do it.
Yeah.
So Ed, I'm not.
I'm telling you, dude, somebody will come up with a machine to pick strawberries, Dusty. Like, okay, putting up wire fencing, right? You know how that is. You guys have all put up wire fencing at some point, right, Ed? With the poles and the little rolls of wire. They even have a machine that does that now. You just put it in a line, it goes right down the line, it drops the stakes, it pulls the fence, tightens it, it does all the ties to the fence posts and just keeps going. telling you, if a company gets threatened of losing a labor force, they'll come up with something really quickly. Telling you, these companies are very innovative when it comes to that kind of shit these days. I don't doubt that, Dusty. And that's what I'm saying, dude. I don't doubt that at all, man. Dude, I'm sure some of these farmers, dude, if their great grandparents saw the way they farm now, it'd be like a bunch of lazy bastards. Back in my day, we used to pick the corn by hand. You know, they use no damn combine. The unfortunate fact, though, at the end of the day, is every generation is getting lazier because life is getting easier with technology, which is giving people more free time than they've ever had before. I mean, just look at the they actually did a study where they showed the amount of free time people had pertaining to different generations when they were at the working age. And it's just steadily increased over the last 100 years. I mean, now you don't have to mow your fucking lawn. You can have a robot do it for you. I mean, it's all the little tasks that you used to have to do throughout the day, vacuuming your floor. You don't have to do that anymore. You think people are lazy now? Wait till they actually have humanoid robots as an everyday thing in people's houses. When that becomes an everyday thing, because it's going to be like iRobot, where that's going to be very common. When you ain't even got to wash dishes, you ain't got to think about taking the trash out. Like when you don't have to think about any of that little shit people used to have to think about that they still do now. Oh yeah, people are going to get even lazier, dude. That's just bound to happen.
Yeah. And when they invent the replicator like they've got on Star Trek, and all you have to do is tell it what meal you want and it gives it you. And you don't have to do any cooking or anything.
Yeah, but the problem is it's going to be subscription based. You're gonna have to pay some company a monthly service to use that. Ain't no way in hell they're just gonna give free food to everybody like that, not making some kind of money off of it. Not unless we get to a utopia type society where money just doesn't mean anything anymore.
Mm.
I don't see that happen. I mean, I guess if technology is still progressing, maybe in a couple 100 years it might be like that, but I don't see that anytime soon. Good luck with that, Dusty. It's not a big TV, is it? Well, at least all you have to do is switch the bracket out from one TV to the other. Because usually those are universal brackets, so it should be able to work with the new TV. That's what I'm saying, Dusty. And your kids are going to be complaining about their grandkids being lazy because they don't got to wash dishes and shit. Back in my day, we had to wash dishes by hand. We didn't have a fucking robot standing there all day doing it. So I'm saying, dude, just doing laundry is going to be a thing of the past soon. I mean, they got fucking folding machines you can buy now that will fold your laundry for you. You can literally put the clothes in there and it sits there and folds them and piles them up for you. I mean, it's crazy the way it's going to be in like another 10, 20 years. Cause like I said, the humanoid thing with the robots ain't far off. I mean, I give that another 10 years before that starts becoming commonplace in households. Especially if you get a company start mass producing them. They're gonna get really cheap. You'll be able to get like a robot for like 10 grand for your house. You just finance it like a car. That's exactly what it's gonna be. Finance the latest robot like a car. There'll be constant upgrades coming out like vehicles.
Yeah, and you stay at home and send the robot to work every day for you.
See, that's the thing is I can't really think of any jobs that would open up because I know once you put AI into a robotic body, then almost all the jobs go out the window. Then, I mean, think about it. Like, it don't matter if it's doing like what Ed and Dusty do, whether it's working in an office. I mean, there's going to be so many jobs that can be replaced by a humanoid sized style robot. Because think about it, they don't have to have breaks. They can work 24/7. You ain't got to pay them any fucking insurance, nothing. Especially construction jobs like Dusty's doing. Dude, they'd be one of the industries that get replaced almost immediately.
Yep, stronger, faster, more accurate.
Yeah, and they wouldn't, like I said, no breaks, no lunches, nothing. They would just be consistently working nonstop. Construction jobs would be one of the big ones I could see getting replaced by robots. Yeah, especially when a robot can scan the concrete and be like, it's at optimal temperature. And they'll be able to like see shit like that. Because they'll have robots that are specifically designed to do one type of job, They'll have certain sensors and shit on it where it can like detect whether the concrete's good or not. I don't know, Dusty. I'm so curious to see if society went to the point of there just isn't any jobs anymore. Like I can see society going that way, but it's like, what does everybody do at that point? It's just so weird to think about. Because eventually you'll have robots fixing robots, so you won't need technicians to fix them. You know? I wouldn't know. I just don't know what the people would do with all that free time. That's crazy to think about. And I would say that's probably 50 years off too, which is this crazy thing. I hope I live long enough to see it because I just want to see what society is going to be like. I wish I could have been born in another 100 years, to be honest. I'd love to see technology in like 100, 200 years from now, as long as society didn't kill itself before then. I mean, and I believe you, Dusty, that your boss makes you take lunches and stuff, but robots don't give a shit, dude. They ain't got to worry about overheating. Where did Ed go? He just dropped off?
I don't know. Did he?
I guess he
No.
did. His wife came in to talk to him, and then he turned his camera off. I didn't hear him drop out there. I mean, I guess we might as well shut it down. It's almost 11 o'clock and ain't nobody else here. So
Yeah, it's 2:45. Well, it's quarter to 4 here, but it's just going down. now.
Yeah, and I gotta run to the store anyway, so.
Yeah, I've got to go to the cemetery. My sister will be coming round in a short while.
All right, everybody, we'll catch you guys, I guess, later this evening. Murray's power's back on.
Yeah, if he can get his computers to work properly after they come on.
All right, we'll see you later, Mark.
All right, see you, Justin. See everybody.
Later.